Remove your bike from the packaging. Inside should be a box containing these tools and a saddle. Remove the packaging from the bicycle. Align the handlebars by turning the fork counterclockwise. We're going to worry about alignment later. Unfasten these two bolts. When you install the handlebars, be careful that your front derailleur and rear brake cables end up on the correct side of the bicycle. Your rear shifter should stay on the same side. Fasten the faceplate. Release the front cable by disconnecting the noodle from the bracket. Silverridge, Northway, and Journey bicycles will use a quick release wheel system. You can identify that by looking for your skewer. You can also tell as the center of the wheel will have a hole all the way through the axle. To properly install the skewer, remove one end and one of the springs. Insert through the center of the wheel, replace the spring and the end cap. Do not tighten all the way. Install the fork by putting the dropouts onto the skewer. Tighten your quick release by holding one side and turning the lever. You should test every once in a while for tension. You know you have the proper tension when the lever stops itself at 90 degrees and you have to push it with your hand the rest of the way. Do note that when the lever is loose, the wheel will still have play side to side. That's normal. There will occasionally be differences in manufacturing which can result in the distance between the two dropouts being somewhat different. This is okay, as once you have your skewer on your bike and the dropout settled onto it, when you tighten it, it'll compress them back together. To align the stem with the front wheel, you can brace the front wheel with your feet and rotate the stem till aligned. Once aligned, tighten your stem compression bolt and your two fixing bolts. Be sure when tightening the compression bolt that you do not over tighten, as it'll make it so the handlebars cannot spin freely. To install the brake cable, take your barrel adjuster and make sure it aligns with the cable guide on the brake lever. Take the front brake cable barrel and slide it a little bit from the housing. Squeeze your lever to expose where the cable will hook. To finish the installation of the front brake, take the brake noodle and install it on the caliper. To properly adjust the brakes, start by loosening this bolt here. This gives you enough room to adjust the tension on the cable. Next step is to squeeze your calipers together using one finger to make sure these do not become unhooked. The calipers should be squeezed so that the brake pads are touching the rim on both sides of the bike. Once the brake pads are in the proper place, release the calipers slightly, but not all the way, and retighten your bolt here. Lift the bike to make sure the front wheel will spin freely, and check your brakes to make sure it stops. if you end up with an abundance of cable at the end, you can cut it using wedge cutters or pliers. Replace the cable end and crimp it on. You can repeat the process for the front brake with the back brake. Put the seat post into the seat tube and tighten by holding one side of the seat collar and tightening with the other. Close the lever to finish. The final step of setting up your bike will be installing the pedals. There are a few things to note before we get started. The first thing we want to do is identify which side of our bike is which. The left side will be the side of the bike that does not have any gears. The right side of the bike will be the side with all of the gears. The reason we make this clarification is that when working from the right side of the bike, both pedals will thread on normally, meaning the old rule of righty-tighty, lefty-loosey will apply. If, however, you are working on the left pedal from the left side of the bike, that rule will be reversed and it'll be lefty-tighty, righty-loosey. Your pedals will be marked right and left. Additionally, on the spindle will be an R or an L engraved as well in case your stickers have been removed. Take your right pedal, put it up to the crank, and begin to thread it in, again, going righty-tighty. You can do this by hand to start with, and then take the provided wrench to tighten it the rest of the way. To make sure that the pedal is secure, put the wrench onto the pedal and hold the rear wheel. While you push the wrench to the right, spin the wheel backwards, and that'll allow you to finish tightening it all the way. Move your left crank into position, take your left pedal, and just like before, begin threading it in. When we are working from the drive side of the bike, remember this will still be righty-tighty. Once you have it in all the way, use your wrench, press to the right while you spin the wheel backwards, and that'll snug it down.